to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Privilege of the floor. Elaine, and would you like to say anything? Okay. Okay, moving on.
Do we have materials for them, agenda and so on?
I don't know if Carol does, yes. Okay. Has everyone had a chance to go over the minutes from the last meeting?
Oh, are they in there?
Yeah, I didn't see them. Do we have no minutes?
No minutes this evening.
Oh, all right
No,
then.
I'm sorry.
That explains why I couldn't find them.
Oh,
I thought it was
yeah.
me. All right, never mind
No
then.
problem.
Okay, we'll just gloss right over that. Okay, so there'll be no approval of the minutes. Okay, Jack, you're up.
Oh, thanks, Mary. Good evening, everybody. That was quick, right?
Yeah?
We have our reports through February, so I guess we got 4 more months to go in the year, so 2/3 of the way through the year. We should be getting our last tax revenue check, I think sometime in March, the last 10%, like another 120,000 or so roughly. But, and also in the month of February, we had our first decent size donation, $2,500 from the Gilbane Building Company.
Mm-hmm.
So you see that under donations,
Yes.
and we deposited that in the
Okay.
the key restricted account, the one that every month has had like $700 in it. So you see
Okay.
now it has 3,200
Mhm.
and change.
Mhm.
So that's nice to report. And the month of February salary line was slightly over budget. So year to date we're about 1,000 over budget, but that's again out of a budget of 479,000 year to date. So more or less we're right on target with that. I entered a lot of Baker and Taylor, but I'm still only caught up to like early January, December. So I'm trying to catch up on the Baker and Taylor books, but that's running slightly over budget. So I'll have to give an update to where that'll be after I get more entered, but that might be slightly over year to date. But it'll be offset by some of the areas that we know are gonna be under, like the retirement bill and the health insurance are definitely gonna be under. Nothing else really stood out. Under professional fees, we paid that check for $38,000 to Paul Mays,
Okay.
that the board is aware of, so that's throwing
That's
that line off wildly. You see, for the month of
Yeah.
February,
Yeah.
49,000 actually. And for the total budget, 927 actual compared to 896 budget. So we're over by 32, but without that architect that is coded on, it's on the checklist, I don't wanna get ahead of myself, but I have it
Yes.
written as capital.
And
so
then it's reimbursed from.
Reimbursed,
Right.
we're not really over.
Right,
and I'm
it
gonna
just looks like that.
It just looks like it, there's others that as well that'll be capital, that'll come back,
Mhm.
so, and we spoke to Rob Schultz, and it's okay to use the Orange County Trust
Right,
checking account that's dormant now, it has a penny in it. We could use that for when we get the bond anticipation note payment,
and
the-
we're gonna ask the bank to rename it, right?
to rename it to Capital Project Fund account, Goshen Public Library Capital Project Fund account, so, and then we're gonna order checks, so we could write checks out of that account to keep it separate from the key account.
Okay.
So we anticipate that after we get that, then I'll consult with Rob, but I would imagine that all the expenses that we paid out of the operating that are coded to capital, we would just simply transfer the money from the Orange County Capital Fund project
Back to key.
back to Key.
Okay.
So we'll come up with a list of that and then transfer it, and then we'll have a better idea where we are really on the budget, but we're not really over when you consider that into play.
Okay.
And again, there's the check run for all the checks that were cut in February. Is one of the attachments.
Right.
So it cost us over $9,200 for the vote?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. How much of that was for the policeman we didn't want?
Is that a rhetorical question, Madam
Almost,
President?
yeah, a little bit.
It's in there.
So,
Yeah, no, but that was what that was for. It was for all of the machines and all of the security
People
and all the people that they,
and the paperwork.
and the paperwork.
It was
Yeah.
everything that the school,
The school insisted on
service that they provided us with on that day.
Yes.
Huh.
The police department.
No.
Billed us?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They did not.
Okay.
I did have,
Oh.
extra people and, extra clerical documents that were done by them.
Mhm.
Things that I don't normally do on my vote, but
The school
that's how
district
they
does
do
on
theirs.
theirs, right? And so they ran this like theirs, so it was like, what, twice as much as we normally spend
They
a month?
spent $5,000 more on their vote than I would have spent on mine.
Right,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, yeah, normally we spend
May I,
5,000.
may I say that that would be 4 years of voting
Yeah,
here at the library.
Huh.
I did go
Anyway.
down and tell them about it.
thank you,
I was
Carol.
very upset by that.
I know. Okay, any other questions for Jack? Any other
I've got
questions on the
a
Jack?
question.
Yes, go ahead.
Putting aside the new building, we've had a capital fund because we had a separate referendum and we labeled that as the capital fund. So to call money that's going for the new building capital, I think is a little bit confusing. Aren't those really two separate baskets?
That's just what Rob Schultz recommended we call it, capital project fund, but I could check
could
back
call
with
it
him
new
and
building.
consult.
Do you have a better idea?
New library.
we could do
Capital
that too.
dash new library or
New library.
Yeah, to
something
differentiate it
gets-
from the.
because there's two separate capital funds and it's.
Right,
Yeah,
it's gonna get confused. He also said that, like we had just mentioned, the 2,500 that we put in the key restricted account, I'd mentioned that we had done that, and he said after we get, the other one up and rolling, we should move that to there. This way, that other money is in there as well, the 2,500 that we
well,
put in.
it's a donation, can we do that, or is,
We
we were
wanted
going to
to-
put that,
Yeah,
because it's not tax money, but
Right.
we don't have enough to start,
so we wanna
an
keep the
account.
tax.
Okay, I'll mention that too.
yeah.
separate.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cause it's a donation and we wanna put it in the foundation, but we have to have, we still don't have the base amount we need to start the foundation.
Okay, yeah, I didn't go that far with him,
Yeah,
but
no,
I'll let
that's
him know all
fine.
that, right,
Yeah, I mean, if it has to have the word capital in it,
right,
but at least have the word new
New
library.
New library,
separate
okay.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
in the
Sure.
account. And if we can, I mean, it's understood that everything in the new library is capital.
right.
Um,
I have to go over to Orange County and let them know, so I'll let them know when we do that. But that account has been pretty much dormant since the loan has been paid off,
Right,
because we only use that to pay
that's
the
right,
loan.
that's what we use it for, is to pay
Right.
the
Yeah,
land off.
right.
And the other thing on the expenditures, the Sam's Club,
Mm-hmm.
that could be a million different things, right?
Yes.
Is there like a listing of what that
No.
was, or?
No, I mean, we do break it out when we pay that. I could get you a listing, but I don't have one now.
You can make a copy of the.
Yeah, of the statement, or it's like the Bank of America. The Bank of America one is even more activity. It's a ton of activity, just that adds up to, you know, a
It's-
couple grand.
It's a lot of, paperwork and, I mean, we can present
Yeah, I
it
got
the
one.
same.
Well, I'm
Or-
just,
The one right here.
I'm trying to look at this
Yeah.
from the, we're supposed to have this fiduciary responsibility, so.
Yeah.
Someone probably should be looking at that laundry list every once in a
Oh,
while.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
do.
Yeah,
He does
Bernie
that
does.
and-
You
As
looked
as the
at-
auditor.
You looked at the Sam's Club?
I can't say that I looked at that particular one, but I do, in it every month. Yeah,
Okay.
Look at it. Yeah.
And
Alright,
he
then-
initials off, on he checks it
Yeah.
off as well.
All
so-
right, then that's good. That's-
Yeah.
I'm
So
happy.
you don't need to see?
I'm a happy camper.
And
Okay.
normally Sam's Club that's high for that. Normally Sam's Club is not that much.
Yeah.
Usually it's just the Bank of America card that has any kind of significant
Mhm.
expenses on it.
Yeah, it's a good point though, because one thing I brought up is in other circles is could we be paying more with a Bank of America card? You're putting everything on the back, or better the question is, are we getting points or anything from Bank of America, or could we get an Amazon card that we would benefit from purchases that we make on it
Right, that
as
could.
well? That could
Mm.
come back to a thing, and then just wind up putting everything on there, including, I don't know who pays their utility with credit card, but that's allowable in a lot of cases too. A lot of the bills we get are payable on credit card, where we cut checks instead.
Mm.
So that would diminish this list, but then we'd be at a point where,
We'd have to have an itemized credit card,
Right.
some
right,
receipt for
or,
everyone
or
to
for
see.
or for everybody's
a
curious.
statement, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Okay. Any questions? Any other questions?
What's left of the $25,000
On the-
capital improvement,
Oh, in the building, in there,
yeah.
I think we're gonna be having the painting done
We
soon.
have two things coming up. We have,
Mhm.
well, actually, the building committee should probably discuss this, about whether you wanna go forward with finishing the air conditioning this time around or next, cause I think we have the money in there now, and I can call and get that going with Dan Rhodey. But the painting, we know, is gonna be eat up about half of, well, less than half, about 35-40% of what we have in this. So we actually should have enough for both.
This year.
I was gonna bring this up in a few minutes, but we do have a painter contracted now to start in the spring finally.
So how much do we have?
It's charging
20.
11,000?
Plus the 10 for the rest of the last,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We spent 8,300 with the 30 for the full year,
Mhm.
so we got like 21 left, 21 and change,
Okay.
Okay.
21 and change, through June, including the last, 4 months.
Yeah, we haven't done much this year.
And just on some of these, for a little clarification, I'll just say them all and you can, the Fox Ledge, the Info Group, the Overdrive, Safe Harbor, and the Bank of America.
Overdrive is the,
Fox
Amazon.
Ledge, what is
Water.
it?
Overdrive. is
Fox Ledge is water, right?
Water,
Overdrive is the digital download.
The digital
Yes.
download for
Right.
books.
Safe
yeah.
Harbor,
Insurance.
The workman's comp insurance,
and the Bank of America check, what
the,
was that?
the
It's
credit
a
card.
credit card.
Okay.
That's the one that has, like, I have the next payment right here, and it's for it's a lot of paperwork
Almost
for,
receipts.
yeah, for small, a lot of Amazon, like here's
We
one
do a lot through
page,
Amazon because we have a Prime account.
and
We
they're
often
all,
have the best prices, so.
And free shipping.
they're all like 20, 30, 40, under 100, but it takes a lot to add up to $3,000, a real
Yeah.
lot. So, but
Thank
yeah,
you.
if you wanted to see that, we could,
No, that's, thank
Sure.
you.
but that's what that is, yeah.
May I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report? Thank you, Norma. Second. Keith, all in favor?
Alright,
Okay.
Thank you,
Jack.
thank you, thanks everyone, appreciate
I'll
it.
give that to Matt, okay?
Yeah, oh yeah, great, thank you.
Checks, Strata contract.
I got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
she-
No worries.
yeah.
Remember, call them first tomorrow. just
Yeah,
make
before,
sure.
yeah, I won't, I'll call
Okay,
first,
thank you.
yeah, great. Thanks everybody.
Yes.
So,
Good night, Jack.
Care, right, yep.
Okay, director's report.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Let's see here. Newsletter's underway. The print newsletter actually and the bi-monthly digital newsletter just went out before you guys arrived, actually. Print newsletter is probably 80% done. We hope to have it to the designer by Thursday. In fact, I'm thinking of it, Jim, I just added your, the Friends Maiden Goshen event.
oh, good.
Okay, so it's in there. I don't know, did you want your phone number in there as a contact still?
It
In
doesn't
that, it's
matter,
okay?
yeah.
I put it in, but okay, that's it. And it looks good. Most of it is dedicated to the election, to the 4 candidates, and to the budget information. But we do have some of our programs listed, and I'm going to try to put in little highlights of the year around the budget. It's highlight of the budget with a link to the site with further information, but the basics on the budget and on this past year and what we did with last year's levy. Annual report was submitted and accepted. I sent out a copy, I don't know, maybe a week ago or so, or to you guys. That has to be accepted tonight. So it's the last piece of red tape, and it's done for the year. We had a few closings, as you see there. Mary Kay, who helped out during the referendum, has gone on to bigger and different things at RCLS. She's working as their frontline team member, answering questions about ILS problems. So she was here I don't even know if you even met her. She was only here for about 3 months during that time, helping us out. And she was a great help, and it was good while it lasted, but she needed more hours than we could supply, so we're back looking for somebody for office help. The board approved Citizens Advisory Committee had its first meeting on Saturday, March 5th. The committee includes 13 members of the community and is being ably chaired by Bill Troy in the room tonight. Bill reports, as have a variety of committee members, that the initial meeting went very well. Bill has circulated his meeting notes and will forward me the final report upon its conclusion. This has already happened. I forwarded this. Paul has it in his inbox. He wanted to see it prior to the next meeting. The next time the Citizens Advisory Board meets, it will be with Megan and Paul in about 2 weeks. I will be at that. They've been asked to attend, so so I'll report back on that. But as far as I have heard from, I've talked to a few people at Rotary, I got the same feeling. People feel like they're being heard, there's a lot of expertise in the room, good ideas, it sounds like the committee and Bill have kept things, the parameters reasonable, so the discussion has really been about the building, and I think it will be, definitely a profitable, undertaking. Strata Inc. is scheduled, if you guys okay the contract, to show up at Salesian Park on Wednesday, this Wednesday, that's 2 days from now, at 2:00 to do some mandatory archaeological survey on the property. There will be a building committee meeting following that at 3:30 with Paul Mays to talk about some of the questions about the building that came up when we met with Robert Hubsher.
Where is that meeting?
That's gonna be here in the building upstairs. We'll meet in Lower Street.
So
Will there be-
chronologically, that precedes the Citizens Advisory meeting.
Correct.
So he will not be talking about their ideas at
Right,
that time.
right.
So we'll talk about the contract later.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's on the
that's on the
list.
list, yeah. I signed the contract for the big band concert. I didn't hear anything back from Dave Cole for a while, I got nervous, but I emailed him on Saturday, and he said he did indeed receive it, and we're all set, we're good to go. So that's August 6th, 6 to 8, outside on the library lawn. Jim was able to find a painter for me out of New Windsor. We have a number of bids over the last couple of years, but his was by and large, by far the best thing we've seen.
Very thorough.
Very thorough, and
He's licensed to deal with lead paint.
Oh, nice.
As soon as he saw the
I
paint.
was gonna say, as soon as he saw it, he knew that
Yeah,
he was gonna
lead
have.
paint, he said, I'm
We had
licensed
his
for
name.
it.
His name is Damone, Damone.
Chris?
Chris.
Chris Damone, painting and drywall. I found him on Angie's list, at 47 reviews, an A rating.
Nice.
And usually Angie's list is like the New York area, so it's usually Westchester. Then I said New Windsor, I said, wait a minute.
Jackpot.
Yeah, really.
He said if you don't book him soon as the weather starts to warm up,
He's
he's booked all
through
through the summer.
season, sure.
And he's looking to do the cupola, the columns,
Oh, nice.
and the building, the rest of the
Sure.
trimming, and also, what did he say, he's gonna wash down
The side.
the siding in
In
the
the
back.
back.
So it should look nice.
And he's going to remove those storm windows that are covering the old windows and redo all the caulk,
Glazing.
Oh, nice.
glazing,
Oh, very good.
reglaze all those windows. He's doing everything. We
That's
said give
great.
us a price on everything, and he did.
Before the big band concert?
Yeah,
Place
he said
looks
spring,
spiffy.
he said it's gonna take him, a week and a half probably, 2 weeks at the
Yeah,
most?
Couple weeks.
And he planned to do it as soon as it gets warm, so
Nice.
hopefully we'll have it all looking spiffy by then.
That's great.
And I don't know if I reported this to you already, the Mini-Sig monument has been returned from its 40-year odyssey. We had 8 guys from the county DPW come and bring it back in. I can't remember if that was prior to the last meeting, but anyway, it's safe and sound it's in 3 pieces, but 3 pieces that go back together again, when there's a place to put it. Right now it's in the local history room upstairs.
Is the floor?
Yeah.
The floor seems to be holding up.
Yeah. Is that what it's made?
We have it as a pedestal for one of the women dresses up. She's sitting up on that part of it. The other half of it's on the other side of the room.
Oh, boy.
But we'll figure out what to do with it from here. But at least it's home again. So
Yeah.
we have a bunch of other things we have to track down.
We are gonna conduct our vote around it.
Yeah. No.
We can't move it.
Well, that's the other thing I had to ask you something about. Do you want me to put something about paper ballots in the newsletter?
Not this newsletter,
Okay.
not, thank you.
The,
Things I remember at the last
Norton
meeting.
and Christensen have agreed to pay $900 for the big band,
Oh,
and they will be sending you a check.
excellent.
And What's the Scoop again is going to donate the ice cream and the service of the ice cream. So
Very nice.
And the dates for it again are?
it's Saturday, August 6th, from 6 to 8 p.m. and the rain date is Sunday, August 7th,
Great, thank you.
same time.
So is Megan back from maternity? Or?
When I emailed them on Saturday night, her email kicked back saying she's still out. So,
Okay,
yeah.
I was just wondering, for that grant when.
Yeah, I'll let you know as soon. I believe she's gonna be here on Wednesday with Paul,
Okay.
so she's sort of back in action.
Okay.
I'll talk to her then about it. I think that's it, unless you have questions.
Did we do away with the Spanish language story time? Story hour?
The person that we had doing them for years decided there wasn't currently enough interest, so I'm gonna have to try to
Hmm.
because she's been here for probably 5 years or,
Mm.
Maybe when school starts up again in the fall.
It comes in, it's interesting, yeah,
Some
it
waves.
comes in, yeah, and Michelle was saying the same thing too, it's tough sometimes, like it's interesting how the populations, the sort of demographics change from year to year, and they set these programs up for babies and all of a sudden there's no babies, and then they set the, so you're sort of, it's a moving target all the time, you have to kinda, so right now it's just been a lull, but, for a while there, that was one of our, that was a very popular program, so, but it hasn't fallen off the table, she's, we're just looking to
Mhm.
find
Thank
someone
you.
else to do it.
Anything else?
Fine.
Any other questions for Matt? Okay.
I will make one mention that we're gonna be using during Children's Book Week, at the end of, the first week of May, we'd like to use the Salesian property for, basically, we would like to put out just a banner sign that will say, very simply, because we don't have all of the pieces, we only have our interim logo, but we'd like to put something out saying, future home of Goshen Library for that week, because it's part of a program where people have to go collect a puzzle piece from there at the future home of the new library. We want to make sure they know where that is, so the banner will just sit along, and behind that banner will be a box or a bag of these puzzle pieces that they then bring back here. It's sort of too much to describe all, but I hope that's okay with you guys. I don't see any reason why we've used it for other things, and this is basically just a pickup spot for people. Is that okay? Okay.
They're gonna fill in the holes that they,
Yeah, well, we'll make sure that
Make,
everything is,
right?
yeah. If
Okay.
it's not in the shape to have people over there, we'll have to think
Right.
of something
but he
else.
falling through the hole.
Right. But as long as as long as the landscape is
What's
safe.
the status of the tower over there?
Well, we're gonna talk about the new building
Oh,
in a
I'm
second,
sorry.
so we can talk
Sorry.
about that.
Mhm.
Anything
Okay, I
else?
think that's it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, now we can talk about that, because now we've moved on to new building committee.
Status of the
Got
tower.
a little ahead of me. The status of the tower, yes. Do you know?
You mean because there's the tape around it and all that?
Yeah, I can't remember where things left off with that.
Yeah. Well,
Didn't
We had a
pay it back?
mason look at it.
we did have
We
somebody
did.
look at it, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, the DLD grants wouldn't cover parts of the project that they considered aesthetic.
Okay.
So
Mm.
that's the kind of thing. I mean, depending on how you guys want to go with this, I've heard people go both ways, and Bill will, in his report, there was some talk about the tower. I mean, it depends. Are you a sentimental person? Do you like history? Do you like the beauty of it, or do you think it's something that just should be knocked down because it's a liability? I mean, it seems like people are split on that. Some people are more hard-nosed, and they say, just get rid of it. Why waste your time dealing with it? Other people say, oh, don't do that. It's a beautiful. I would like to keep it if we could, and if it was safe. I think it's pretty. I think it's, but that's just my, I just like the idea. It's in the park. But be that as it may.
Right.
Question is, I think if you decide to go ahead and try to keep it there, I think we can probably find somebody to give us a grant to get it, to get it stabilized. And
So, what was the findings?
I think that as far as I know, everything was, it was just not veneer. What do they call that? It was just
Mortar.
mortar. It wasn't anything structural that
Right, it
needed
was
to be done.
sturdy.
The concern is when you start building that it could topple
Right, we wanted
because
to
of
make
the.
sure it could withstand all of the traffic.
But I thought there was some structural issue, and that's why the tape was around it, that the top was falling apart.
Well, they're worried about the stones
Yes.
coming down. I mean, not the whole.
No,
Right.
no, no, but
But as far as I know, it's definitely salvageable. Let's say that, and it's something that
Yeah.
you could.
they
But-
said it's structurally sound.
yes,
Mm.
Okay.
but whether it would survive having all that digging, etc., done around it without there being special.
That was part of it, I think, is to stabilize the tower while they were doing construction.
The concern was that you wouldn't want to be too close to it. You might have to do some things just to keep it from from being rattle
The Leaning
from
Tower
its-
of Pisa.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
same. We could have a new tourist attraction, the Leaning
right.
Tower of Goshen.
But I'll double
$10
check to
a head to
see.
see.
There you go, get your picture taken.
I was just, you know,
Folded it up.
you see the taper on it still. and,
Maybe if we had a carousel
you
there
know,
too.
it's-
There you go.
They put it
there you
there
go.
because
Well,
they thought there's the possibility of more stones falling
Coming
off the
down.
top, and so.
I asked Anne what it was from. Does anyone else know? Because she couldn't give me an answer.
I was told it's from it heated. It was used to
It
heat.
was part of the
Mhm.
heat system.
Yeah.
For the
For
greenhouses.
the greenhouses.
For the greenhouses.
Yeah.
That's what Peggy told me.
That's it.
There's one hole at the base.
There
right?
is, right, which would
Right.
make some sense, sure. And it looks like it could have been some sort of fireplace, but it was odd looking.
Yeah.
And I asked Anne where it came from, like, why is this tower here and nothing else, you know? What was around it, and she didn't know off the top of her head. I would think it's gotta be like a cost benefit thing. If it's gonna be very expensive to fix it and keep it sturdy, then maybe it's worth dismantling it and using the stones for something else, you know? This bench, this patio
Oh, you
wall
can-
was built
yeah.
from the, you know, I mean, if we have to. That might be a way to go with it.
Mhm.
Cannibalize
But
it.
we don't
That's
know.
right, we will cannibalize it and make,
Repurpose.
We don't know how much.
repurpose, that's a much nicer way of putting it. We will repurpose those historic stones and make some other
Yeah,
kind of
never ask a
retaining wall.
librarian, I mean, I'm all about, you know.
Yeah.
But we don't know
It's
how much it would
conservation,
cost.
but-
We don't know, and that's just it. I think we shouldn't foreclose on the idea of repurposing it if it becomes too expensive, because now we're spending how much money to keep a chimney up that we're not gonna actually ever use.
So how are we gonna determine how much it's gonna cost to stabilize?
I don't know.
You know, I'll talk to them on,
Get some
when we're out there
experts.
on Wednesday, just to see if we can get some ballpark ideas or, you know.
Does Paul Mays have somebody in-house that might give us?
Well, they were the ones that, they recommended the outfit from Albany or
Oh,
whatever that
okay.
came, so they worked closely with them and they'll give me a sense of whether, what
They
they
didn't
think.
give an estimate.
What did they do?
They may
Just
have, I don't
determine if
remember
it's
now, I could pull it up, I'll
structurally
look.
sound,
I haven't-
Well, they did, and they tested what did they do? They tested a couple of things, and they climbed up it and looked down it and scoped it and whatever else they did to
okay.
make sure it wasn't going to. The biggest concern we had was that a construction truck would come by and the whole
Yeah,
thing would
comes
come
down.
down, and they said, no, that's not gonna happen.
Okay.
That's not likely. There are stones at the top that needed to be reset, and they recommended something, and I don't remember exactly what it was to, like, shore it up.
I'll find the report, I'll send it back out, I know I
Yeah.
have something that they sent me,
Yeah,
I just
I
haven't
do
thought
remember
about it.
reading it, but it was months ago.
You know.
Okay, now let's talk about the foundation. I'm sorry, we done talking about this?
Yep.
Jimmy? Okay, thank you. You're up because you're the one who knows the most about
Oh, okay, well, honestly, I
Not
haven't done
because,
it.
I know,
Yeah.
we're kind of all don't know what we're talking about with this foundation, but.
Yeah, we're in a
No.
holding pattern. I mean, you know, the short of it is, did,
Where
I
did
think,
we leave off?
is
I
was
sent-
Ben, was Ben?
That's where we left off, I
Yeah.
gave Ben the contract, Ben's reviewing the contract, hasn't gotten back to me yet, but,
Yeah. I mean, ideally, we would need another $2,500.
Right.
Right, we have
to-
2,500, we need 5,000 to start the
to
foundation.
start it, yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then at that point, we can start taking donations. I mean, we can take donations beforehand,
But we just
Yeah.
park them in the bank until,
Right.
yeah.
right.
I mean,
Any donations made beforehand are not tax deductible, right?
Oh, no, any
They are.
well,
donations to us would be.
they would be, yeah.
Everything would
Yeah,
be.
they would be,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's operating as a 501c3, it'd just be a, yeah, and, you know, so what I can do too is I'll call Elizabeth and see, because I'm sure there are other foundations that have the same situation, we don't quite have all the seed money yet, how do we handle donations beforehand, you know, and to see if they can just all be submitted as, these are all the checks at once, you know.
Mm.
And I'm sure if we do it within like a 2-month period or something like that, yeah, before the checks are cashed, yeah, if we present everything, but we already cashed the money for that?
Yeah, that's already in the
so,
bank. We didn't know what else to do with it, so.
So we're just waiting for Ben and another $2,500.
Right,
Yeah.
that's pretty much it,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, there's really nothing else to be done yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'll contact Elizabeth and see what their,
Advice.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, we're also going to need a capital campaign committee. Now, in other words, the community foundation is where the money will be
Right.
Going,
sit,
right.
but we still need the committee.
We
Now
talked
the-
about that when we get to our group.
With
Okay.
the community resources.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so physical resources, we did kind
We
of
covered
touch on
that.
that with the painting. Is there anything else we need to discuss about the current building we're in? We're gonna do the air conditioning and the painting, right?
Yeah, I'll just double check the numbers.
Make sure we
and-
have the
and-
money
and,
for it,
Yeah, we'll go
yeah.
ahead. I mean, the unit is, I mean, I think it's due for replacement. It's working now, so it feels funny to replace the thing, but it's
Right.
about the same age as the other one, and.
So we're just waiting.
Turns out it's gonna go in the middle of the summer
Right.
when
Of
it's,
course.
when it's
Oh,
working the
exactly.
hardest
Right.
and
When
when we need it
it's
the
98
most,
degrees
yeah.
during a heat wave and all.
And then they'll be busy, and that won't be able to come
That's
out for a
right.
month, yeah,
Right.
so.
So,
Exactly.
you're so cheerful.
It's happened,
Murphy
Murphy's Law.
appears
Well,
all
that's what
over.
happened last year, so,
Yeah.
okay. Anything else about the current building? Physical resources? Okay, Norma, community resources?
Well, we met, Megan
Mhm.
wrote the, piece for the, I was gonna
Newsletter.
say magazine, newsletter, for the newsletter, and, we met and we're starting to talk about, you know, raising money for the new library, the funds that we, because originally we cut the building fund, the proposal for the new library, we cut funds out of that so that we can come under $10 million. And so we talked about, you know, the piece that we needed to raise money for was furniture. So we're starting to talk about maybe have a ball to have a nice kickoff to the to fundraising with a silent auction component. I don't know if any of you back in the old days remember the silver and gold ball that the hospital used to have. Elaine say yes. I know you remember. Sort of something like that, because it raised a lot of money for the hospital. So we thought something like that, and we're gonna attend the Friends meeting tomorrow to chat with the Friends to see how we can team up and do that. Did I leave anything out?
Emily emailed the committee of all the stakeholders in the park to see about meeting again, because that group hasn't met since probably last summer.
Sure. So who are we talking about, joint rec and?
Yeah,
Village and town officials.
I think some of the sports leagues
Right.
sent representatives.
Is that Illuminate Goshen group still intact, or?
Mhm.
The what?
They are, yeah.
And are they involved in?
I don't.
I can't remember
think
who
I'm
so.
sorry, what did you say?
The Illuminate
Illuminate?
I thought you
Goshen,
said
what?
the dominate Goshen.
Oh, wait, I missed something, really?
What?
Wow,
What are we dominating?
Boy, this daylight savings thing's really doing it over on all of us, huh?
Mm.
Yes,
No, the mayor is part of the group.
yes, the mayor is part of the group.
So we're just looking for a date, because an email went out
Yeah.
to see when they would be available. Everybody else would be available, so.
So who would be going from our group? Are you gonna be in attendance at that meeting?
Emily, myself,
Emily also?
Norma.
Okay.
You were there, one of the meetings.
I went to one of the meetings,
Yeah.
You probably have seen articles about community gardens,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wondering if has it ever come up, a community garden in some sunny spot
It has.
in the park?
It was talked about, but I don't know if there's any plans.
Okay,
At Salesian.
Yeah.
right. I just think it would be something that would be an asset, because it gets people involved, and the library could be involved in the form of instruction about how to do some of these things.
Yeah.
People could do them in their garden plots. And also, it's almost self-funding once you get it up, because
Mhm.
people pay like $100 and they have their plot, and they don't have to worry about woodchucks because you've got a really good fence and so on.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
if you could ask that question, if I'm not there,
Yeah, sure.
thank you.
I wonder what's, Ray Rooney had a great plan for the back.
That's the one thing that
Oh,
has
what-
that came out of that. He had a rendering of a picnic area with picnic tables and a grill and
Bocce ball?
bocce balls and a
That was
playground
over
for kids
toward,
Behind
toward
the-
Craigville,
The
by
bathroom.
Craigville,
Yes.
yeah, that
Yes.
was over by Craigville.
Yeah.
where there has been an enormous number of trees felled within the last month. I don't know why.
But
I
that's
don't
not
know who
part of-
owns that. It's not our property, no.
Right.
It's the Craigville side. Enormous numbers of trees. Does anybody? Do you
They
know
were
anybody?
deliberately
No.
cut down?
No, I know that that's happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know why?
But,
Does anybody?
They deliberately cut down?
Yeah, there was a crew in there
Oh, wow.
clearing out trees. I mean, big trees.
Huh.
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know.
they were dead and
So
a
maybe you
hazard.
can find out at this meeting. Yeah, it could be, right?
Huh.
But it's not even on the property that the town owns, it's on the other side of the fence.
Oh, the property,
The
it's not
Salesian
part of
owns
the
it.
park.
Right,
No,
is
it's
it
not
part of the
part of it.
Veterans Cemetery land?
Is it?
That's
It's
for
that
the
hill.
town.
It's that
is it
hillside there.
veterans
I
or
don't
is it
know.
where the
No,
sisters
the
and
veterans is way down.
fathers are
This
laid
is-
to rest?
Oh, there's a cemetery in there, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
probably in
Yeah.
that cemetery.
That's,
That
that's
that
what you're
hillside
talking
there is being cleared. I don't know why.
about. Huh.
Hmm.
You probably check on some tax maps to see who owns that property.
What's on the other side of the fence of where that is
Yeah.
owned, where we were on our walk.
Anything else for community resources?
The naming opportunities, we're also gonna be looking to that and speaking to Megan about that,
Yeah, attaching values to each.
different things.
Right,
She had provided a list of, but not.
possibles, but it was
values.
mostly an
Do you
idea,
have
an
right,
old
not really.
list?
I remember.
Oh, no,
oh,
I don't think
boy,
there was
I'll
price
I'll
tags.
look,
Right,
Mm-hmm.
I'll look.
okay.
My wife was at the committee meeting. When she came back from that, she actually came across some of the paperwork from 2008. And one of the sheets in there had some naming opportunities there, so.
And that's,
um,
she was just asking about that, Megan.
Yeah, so.
Mm.
With values.
I think I
Yeah.
did that too.
So I can send that to you guys. I can send the whole folder that she had. It had a lot of interesting stuff. Some of it's not worthwhile because it was leading up to the vote, and some of it
Yeah.
was just about the building in general. So, but it's
Sure.
historical either way, so it's interesting to look at. So.
Mm.
Right.
But yeah, that is one of the things that was useful.
I'll have to
Something.
check the CD that I have. I wonder if all the content, more than just the, there was a tour of the building. I don't know, the,
Walkthrough,
yeah.
the virtual tour, that was pretty interesting, but I wonder if possibly some of these documents are on there. I'll check tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
If someone were to contribute the other 2,500, eventually when there's a naming list, that could be applied to that, I would assume.
Hmm. You mean a list of donors?
Right,
Hmm.
to the, in other words, you're not gonna have your naming list ready for what, another month or so, the way things are going? But if someone contributes money at this time, they could still use that for the naming.
Yeah, if they want to name actual, like we talked about naming rooms like we have here. If they want to name actual rooms, or different larger things, those would be big ticket items. But yeah, everything
Right.
small ticket items, anything for probably 1,000 or under, picnic benches, furniture, things
Right.
like that might be
Right.
latter stage stuff. But we're still good to nail down suggestions now,
Right.
so that
Well,
we
we're
keep it on the list.
Jack, I'm sure will keep a log of all of the checks that come in.
Well,
Yes, that's
and-
the
For
spirit.
big
And there's gonna be an
money.
issue of whether it's, whether they're actual checks or pledges at that point, because if somebody's not gonna pay for this for 3 years, I don't know in terms of the taxes, whether they can donate. I'm sure they can donate this year for something that's gonna be paid for in 3 years, 2 or 3 years, whatever it takes to buy furniture, but that might come in as pledging instead of, whatever, we keep it on the list, so, depending on how people feel, and it may not be an issue, but it might be good to keep that option open, so that we actually keep a list of people who do
Don't
wanna
they-
pay for stuff later.
But don't when you pledge, don't you make an initial payment and then you say over the next number of years?
Ideally, yes, that's, of course, they should
You
give
get
us money
something up
first,
front.
right, yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's,
right.
it's.
You need the
it's,
money up front.
Yeah.
Show me the money.
Okay, human resources. Jim, because this board is going to be up, members are gonna be up for re-election at the middle of next month, after our next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we have the current board evaluate our wonderful director, so, that's actually the vice president's job, and I fumbled, I didn't give you the form, but if I email it to you.
Okay, send me the
Yeah.
form.
Right, and then everybody can just fill it out
Right.
and we can
Okay.
meet as the Human Resources Committee, but when the time comes to evaluate whether or not
Okay.
Matt deserves a raise. And
It's been a tight year, Matt.
it is, Matt, yeah, so,
We hope you understand.
yeah, you know. all
Some
these.
big stuff coming up, you know.
That's right, that
Yeah.
expensive.
You're getting a new office,
It's really, some gratitude would be
Oh, you get
useful, but, you know.
and I have an old couch in my basement.
That's right.
We could reserve a parking spot.
That's right. You get a parking spot.
With
We'll
your
give you a new
name
title
on
or
it.
something, that's it.
Naming
There's no
opportunity.
one.
If you want your name on it, it's
Yeah, right.
$25,000 now.
That's it.
Oh, wow.
Wow, you feel really appreciated. Oh,
Just-
don't you?
Just don't make it memorial.
Alrighty. I think that's it for human resources. And the Sunshine Committee, how are we doing?
Well,
Still
we're getting
flush?
down to the bottom of the barrel here. But we did send a very nice little tea
Oh, yeah,
set
tea set.
to Megan.
Very nice.
And hopefully if she ever gets a free moment with those two
She'll actually
babies and
have
her
some
job,
tea.
she'll sit down and have a cup of tea.
Yeah, good for her. So do you need to hit us up for money again?
Well,
We could wait
let's
till
wait
after
it.
the
Let's wait it.
election and
Let's
hit up the
wait.
new people.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Wait until after the election.
Might get out of it.
There you go. You might get out of it, you might not have to pay. And we already discussed the Friends to a point. Is there more you want to say on that?
I guess the main thing is the Made in Goshen event. We have gotten some responses to the news article, people calling up and saying, I've got this or I've got that.
Yes.
I had a conversation today with a guy who has a jug, which talks about, its label is Goshen Liquor Store,
Oh,
this old jug.
I wonder what was in there.
Yeah.
That's right. So he says, I know I've got it, I'm not quite sure where it is at the moment, I'll find it for you.
Doesn't someone in town have one of the cars? Isn't there a car? Yeah, from the
Allegedly.
original.
Oh, we don't have the car, we have photographs, and we have the brochure that was the catalog in the store,
Right, right.
that type of thing. So we're gonna have that, that display as usual.
Right.
We're also gonna have some things that are made in Goshen today. There's a new creamery that makes cheese,
Nice.
5 Spoke Creamery,
And
and
delicious.
they're going to have a display.
Okay.
So we can get up to speed with what's being made today as well as what was made.
And where are we hosting this?
It's at the St. James Community Room.
Okay. And the date?
That is May 14th, Saturday, May 14th, and it's in the afternoon, 2 to 5, so that we can get children in there.
Nice.
We think the kids will really enjoy it.
I added that to your, I use mostly your verbiage, I
Right.
just,
Right.
I added that
Right.
newsletter.
Nice, very nice. Okay. Anything else?
The only other thing is for Junior Friends, they're gonna do the local history camp this summer. It was 1 day last year. This time it's gonna be 2 days. When I say 2 days, it's only either 9 to 12 or 10 to 12 in the morning. And it's going to be over in the park on our property, because they're doing outdoor things so the kids can move around. And the second day this time, the first day has to do with historical figures in Goshen. The second day is going to do with the history of dairy farming in Goshen. And among other things, there will be a cow and a calf present.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So they're going to have some fun with some animals there.
Nice.
I think the date, I can't remember, I think it's the 26th and 27th of July. Now, does the board need to approve them having the reason why they have those dates is that that's when the tent is up. I think maybe I've mentioned this before, for the Shakespeare in the Park, that 2 weeks. And in case it rains, we figured we could,
No, you could just,
so we worked that out with Cornerstone that on a rainy day, if the camp is scheduled, then we can go over and use the tented area.
you
What
think
are
it's
the 2
July?
dates?
What are the dates for the Shakespeare?
Yeah, Shakespeare's July.
It's in July.
not
Yeah,
August.
July.
This is July.
Okay.
Yeah, July 26th and 27th. I
Did
think
you not
is
say this camp was August?
No, it's July.
July.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Didn't stick here.
Didn't we have the idea of having like a potluck thank you
Mhm.
party while the tent was up also?
We talked about that.
We did, but we never discussed it any further, and I didn't know
No.
if we wanted to
It's
go
like-
anywhere with it. Everybody looked so enthused.
Who Where would the funding come from?
That was-
Well, potluck,
Potluck.
then everybody shows up with their
Potluck.
own pot full of food,
I
and you're,
understand about potlucks.
and we get 14 bowls of potato
Other-
salad, it's great.
We could also, if we have the ball, we can honor everyone who, you know,
Donates,
who,
yeah.
who donates, but also helped, you know, to get the vote out and
Well, right,
things like that. A more formal
Yeah.
thing, I don't know.
I don't
Have a
either.
program with names in it and
Yeah,
things
I
like
just,
that.
a lot of people helped us out and just,
Yep.
I know, it just seemed kind of like, yeah, we passed the vote and we kinda didn't say thank you to anybody and didn't have like a celebration party about it, and I just didn't know what we wanted to do.
We
I
can do
realize
one.
we don't wanna spend a fortune on this, cause we don't have a fortune to spend, but we had toyed with the idea of using the tents while they were up. And then didn't talk about it any further.
Who pays for the tents to go up? I mean, I know we contribute to,
I think a
we
grant.
sponsor stuff from Cornerstone, but
Part of it's a grant, part of it's from us,
The
part of it's
county,
from
mm.
Cornerstone, yeah, county
Okay.
grant.
okay. So we don't have to. I mean, we just need to coordinate. But we don't need to particularly clear it with Cornerstone. It's not their tent alone.
But they
Jim
have
has-
rehearsals.
They have, right,
rehearsals.
we don't
Right,
wanna
we gotta
interfere with
coordinate
whatever
with
they
them.
have going
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
right,
We should ask
That'd be the
them,
coordinating
because
portion of
they
it, yeah.
put it up, yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So we're going on weekdays, you're talking
Yeah.
about, that'll be the weekend, Saturday or the Sunday, there'd be an afternoon performance, and then we'd have to, if we're gonna use the tent, you know, go
Maybe
in
into
around
the
5
evening.
or something.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
I mean, it's just like, you know, we weren't gonna just
No.
show up with potato salad and go move, talk to them. But, yeah, I don't know if you wanted to go any further with that, or,
I think we should.
I think we should do
it's a good
something,
idea.
you know, even
To
if we
bring a
all
grill
show up with
and-
hibachis,
Mhm.
right, and, yeah, do something. Any ideas, any more? Think about it
Well,
some more?
we can talk about it when we meet
Mm-hmm.
at our community resources.
Right,
Okay.
okay, thank you. Okay, unfinished business, anything?
Oh, one other thing
Oh,
about
I'm
the
sorry.
Children and Friends, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
They have visited other libraries and they have discussed what should be in a teen room. And they would like to, I think I sent this to you, Matt, right there. Did I send you a copy of that?
Keep going, let me see,
Yeah.
it's not ringing a bell yet.
A list of their suggestions for the teen room.
No, I don't think I knew you were talking about it, I don't think I saw an actual
I
list.
sent a list to somebody, I thought it was you. In any event, they'd like to present it to Megan or Paul if possible.
I remember that, sure.
Now, the problem is, of course, let's see, dates are, is it the 23rd
Mm-hmm.
and is it 16th, those were the two dates?
Mm-hmm.
If he's going to be here for a 10 o'clock meeting in the morning, probably he'll be gone by the time any of those kids are out
Yeah.
of school. The other meeting is an afternoon meeting, right? That's at 2:30 in the
Yes.
park or something? 3:30.
Well, he'll be here in this building at 3:30.
That's on the 16th,
Right.
That's
right.
That's
2 days.
Yes,
2 days
two
from
days
It's
from
just 2 days from now,
Oh.
that's tight.
David just, if they could have 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if that's possible.
I'll talk to them, I'll talk to Paul.
Okay.
I don't know about their end, if they can get, but,
Is there, so they wanna present, but get feedback, so they're gonna come back and present more later?
No, they just wanna
they have
let
their
him know.
ideas, they wanna present it, and then let,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
you know.
Mhm.
I mean, not to skirt them, but is this something that they can talk with Michelle and Matt? First
Well-
round to say, well, these are things, yeah, because if they can't do this coming Wednesday, then they gotta schedule time for Paul anyway, so to keep it on the table, to keep it going, to actually have them talk to Michelle, cause Michelle would be involved with the kids' room.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And Michelle would also have an idea of what's worked in other libraries in the
Mhm.
area, new libraries coming in. So like I said, if they have ideas and they're final already, or if they have ideas and they want to get feedback on it and then present final stuff afterwards, they could talk to our own staff first.
I think that they view themselves as presenting, sort of their view. They realize there'll be other people that will be having input, and of course,
Mhm.
the architects
Mhm.
know 10 times more about this than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what if, for example, they'd like to have a window seat, where you can go and sit in the window seat and you can read a book.
Mhm.
And maybe it's not gonna work with the windows the way they're set up, and maybe it would, for that building it won't work, maybe it will.
Mhm.
Mm.
They'd like to have a place where it's like a whiteboard on a wall, and they would put a question. If I could have anything I would like, and then people would come in and write what it would be.
Mm.
A new house, a new friend, and then when the thing is full, they're gonna photograph it.
Mhm.
They're gonna have a scrapbook, and then over the years, you'll see,
Yeah, that's
all
a
the
great
things that
idea.
people, the kids in Goshen wanted when they were.
Mhm.
There's just a whole bunch of ideas
Sure.
that they have.
So
Sometimes
that's-
they're silly, because right now they hate it when they're on the tables upstairs working, those chairs squeak.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they said when they're sitting there doing homework and then the chair squeaks and people look at them. They want chairs that don't squeak. I mean, this is,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't see a problem with them giving him that kind of input for 15
Right.
minutes. I mean, I think they understand they don't have the final say, but
yeah,
he did want to hear from them,
Mhm.
so
right.
he
And
should.
they also worked very, very hard to get the
Yeah.
referendum.
They
passed,
sure
with
did.
letters
They
and
absolutely did, and they should
calls
get at
and-
least
yeah,
15
so-
minutes of his time at least.
I'm
I'm
we can
sure-
work it out.
I mean, this plans aren't going to be final for months, so you know what I
Right.
mean. If he says something to them like, "I'll talk to you again about this in July" or whatever, I
Right.
think they should get the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
See who
pitch-
can
pitch.
meet 'em. There's quite a few girls. I mean, even if only 2 of them show
Right.
up on
Right,
Wednesday.
they've already made the list.
Right, exactly.
Two
So it's not like the
contestants.
whole
Mhm.
Right.
group has to
They
be
could
there.
pick the-
So 1 or 2 of them could
Okay.
show up. Yeah.
Or so do you want to try to have them come
Okay.
at 3:30 Wednesday?
Sure.
Well, 3:30
Well,
is
let's
the
see,
meeting.
yeah, the meeting's 3:30, you want,
What time?
If,
come a little earlier, we do before,
3:15?
yeah.
is Paul going to the,
Yes, he'll be over there.
so he'll be over there
And then
before,
I'll let him know. that
so
we're-
maybe we should, maybe 3:30 is a good idea, 15 minutes, and then
Well,
have our meeting
and we'll just have our meeting 15 minutes later.
later, yeah.
I don't see the
2:45
problem with that
okay.
because they get out of school.
Yeah, if
At
that's, so
2:15,
if they can do that,
2:30.
that's a good
So
Yeah,
idea.
so
3:30.
3:30 is
3:30.
fine. And they get 15 minutes of his time, and then we'll do our meeting.
And the thing is, also, it's good to get this stuff on the table now, but there's been other libraries that basically the teen area is a clean slate. I mean, like, that the teens, they make these suggestions and they're considered heavily in what teens want, not just we want an Xbox and a PlayStation,
Right.
They want
Yeah.
comfortable furniture, they want furniture that
We want
moves.
chairs that don't squeak.
Yeah, so yeah, it is, good to get this on now, but they'll also have input later on. This won't be the last
Right,
bit.
but-
so.
The fact that other people are talking to the architects and they haven't
Yeah, no,
they
that's
haven't been heard,
Yeah,
and they did do a lot of work for us, so we should let
just
them
to
have 15
confuse
minutes.
Paul even more, yeah.
So, yeah, right. Well,
So what is
What he
what is
does.
Paul's day looking like now? What is he
It's
arrives?
gonna be here at 9 a.m. No.
No, we're meeting at
Taking him out for
the
breakfast.
park at 2, and then he would meet with the junior friends at 3:30
3:30.
and then 3:45 with the building committee.
And the building committee is
Oh,
And
actually,
You.
Bernie, are you gonna be there?
and
Yeah.
You are,
you.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
And
can anybody else come or just you guys?
I don't see why not. If you wanted to be
Okay.
there, if that's
Yeah,
what I'm
like to
asking.
listen.
Yeah, I mean, it's not open to the public, it's a committee
Right.
meeting, but yeah, you can
Okay.
be there.
Great.
Okay, other unfinished business, anything? Going once?
Yeah, I got one thing I wanted to mention, because we're gonna go over the bylaws at some point.
At some point, yes.
But one of the things I was considering last time, I guess 1 vote ago, 2 votes ago, we had 3 people up for election. So you guys just think about this. I don't need your input at all now. But what I was considering was having 3 out of 7 people up for election at one point is a dangerous situation to flip the board over.
Sure.
So a solution to that is, and I don't know if I've discussed this before or not, but a solution to that is actually change our terms to 4 years instead. And then we would change the schedule to 2, 2, 2, and 1. And then start over again for 2 people for a 4-year term. There's some logistics about that. We'd have to actually have them, there's 2 ways to go about it. One is to actually commute current terms to 4 years, and work it out on a schedule, or the other is just to go, everybody starts a 4-year term at this point, except for one person would go a 3-year term. So, but the question is, think about whether you guys want to actually change it over to 4-year terms. Because if you guys think 4 years is too long for a term, then that just puts the kibosh on it. But if you guys think a 4-year term is okay, instead of a 3-year term, then we can work towards working at the schedule and changing people's terms over
Well,
there.
wasn't
Another
that
way
like
to-
10 or 12 years ago they were 4 years long, weren't they?
They might be
It's like
longer even.
12,000, 2000, 2001, they were 4
Yeah.
years or 6 years or something like that. Weren't they?
Another way to do it, you know,
2 years.
the size of the board
No, what about 2 years?
varies tremendously. I think Washingtonville now has a board of 15.
Oh,
Yeah.
13.
13.
Yeah.
If we do a 9-member board and have 3-year terms, every election is for 3 people.
And that's a
3
third of
years.
the board.
Part of
And-
I know part of the problem they have is, or what's dangerous about a larger board is that you can have more people not showing up, and then you don't get quorum, because you have to have quorum is more than half the board
Mhm.
at that point. So I don't know how often they've had only 6 people, but I mean it works both ways. You would hope that 7 out of 13 people would show up for the monthly meetings, but then
Well, right now we have to have 4, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
So we'd need 5. I don't know
Okay.
where that would be if you had a 9-member board.
Yeah, right.
I
well,
can't
we
see
can-
why that would be a real issue.
No.
Mhm.
We almost never have a problem getting, rarely do we meet with 4, usually it's at least 5. So, we had 9 members, I don't know.
We need a bigger room.
I was gonna
What-
say.
We're having a new
We might
library.
wanna wait till we move to the new library to get a bigger board. We won't
There's
be able to
room
fit,
for
there'll be no
100.
privilege of the floor. Sorry, the board takes up the whole room.
Why did we have 3 up for
It's just
reelection?
the
Wasn't
way
it
it
because of,
Well, there's 7
You-
people. There's 7 people total, and we'll divide it.
No.
It's a 3-year term.
no,
so-
I
Oh, okay.
yeah. But wasn't it because you came on? Wasn't it?
No.
No?
No, because I completed Bill Courtney's term
Okay.
in 1 and change years, and I was elected at the end of his term. So.
Right, yeah, you just finished out his term, and when
So the
he and
next
I ran,
election,
there
who
were
is
3.
up for reelection?
Ellen, Mary, and I. Oh well, this
Next
very
year.
next one.
is you and
Yeah,
he.
this one, yeah,
Right,
but the
and
next
then
one
next
is
year is you and I.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the year after
Is
is Jim
2.
and Megan and
3.
So,
and Jim.
3. Oh, okay.
all right.
He feels like a permanent fixture, but he does have to get rid of.
This past year was a 3.
So
person.
where is the
And I
problem?
wanted to-
You think if those 3 did not get reelected, we would not have continuity, or?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and that was the potential, because Jim wasn't sure he was going to run or something, or.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had 4 people. Yes, Jim was the only incumbent,
Mm-hmm.
and we had 4 people running.
Yeah.
So.
But you want us to think about this, you don't
Yes,
want us
yeah.
to
Right.
discuss it now, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll discuss it at another
Mental.
meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just hold that thought.
Okay.
Can I
Okay.
mention one thing? There's a trustee orientation hosted by RCLS on, what is it, 23rd of March at 6 o'clock if you're interested in going. I can give you a card, or you can just email me and I'll sign you up. That's March 23rd, RCLS.
Why
6
do
to
they have
8.
it so early? Because the votes haven't taken place yet. They're doing the orientation before the vote.
Yeah.
Did that record it?
Right,
No.
it's,
No, that's too bad.
it is.
It's easy
That would
enough
be
to
useful.
somebody with their cell phone to record it and.
And then just
You
give it out.
got 2 board members in here that are over here in this conversation. We're gonna
Who's-
go back to,
Who's does it say who's doing the trust
it's,
orientation?
Grace Riaro set it up. It doesn't say who's.
Whether
here
Jerry's
who's
gonna be in
run
there
it.
or not.
I don't think Jerry's gonna be, oh no, here, Robert Miss, Strategic Management Exchange.
Yeah, as
No,
like
no.
staff development sort of thing,
Right.
they should have it on, they should have recordings of these things.
One thing they're working towards is to actually have some type of continuing education credits for trustees. So right now you don't have to have any qualifications. So you can have.
That's like
Larger.
Roger President.
Yes. And both are voted in, but.
Except you don't have to be 35.
So, but yeah, they're working towards things like that too. But there are a lot of trustees who just have never seen the booklet that we passed out last time and don't care to learn the ropes and learn just the basic stuff that our duty is fiscal responsibility of the library. You know?
Yeah,
And then also technically being library advocates. You know, if you're against the library, why are you on a library
why are you
board?
on library board?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I was on the Washingtonville board, we had an election and a guy was elected And the superintendent did what he did for everybody, he gave them a stack of stuff that had to do with what your job is.
Mm-hmm.
Got his letter of resignation a week later.
Ah.
As soon as he saw that stack, well, that's not what I signed up
That's
for.
not what I said. Okay, so new business. Has everyone had a chance to peruse the state annual report?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Matthew on this?
Hopefully the new library will be equipped for hearing impaired, so you
Yes,
can
that's-
always check yes on that box,
Yes.
important box.
There's a lot, yeah, just by passing the referendum, we're the last library, I guess, that is marked as insufficient
I think
one way or another.
We're the last.
Yeah, we're the
Last one, RCLS,
Yeah.
And that is to say that most of the other libraries have built new libraries, so.
Mhm.
So.
Okay, so I just have to ask if they wanna accept it, right?
Right,
Okay, so can I have a motion to accept the annual
the
report?
2015.
The 2015 annual report. Norma, a second, Bernie, all in favor? Thank you so much, none opposed, it passes. Now, the contract for Strata Incorporated?
Right. And I'll just make mention that there were a couple concerns voiced by a couple of the trustees. I did talk with our lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
and he assured me that there was some confusion about some of
About the
them.
way it
Right,
was worded, yeah.
but it's, everything here is
I misread that.
in line,
Yeah,
right?
that's fine.
Um,
And it is actually not unusual for us to have to provide the,
No, he said that's standard, that
Yeah,
we don't
it is
pick them
standard.
out, we just pay.
right, we just pay
for
the fee, we don't
fee.
pick it out, we don't have to
We
let
don't
go.
pick up the back.
No, no, no,
Or the- right,
no,
that's-
they don't
Okay.
own a backhoe, so we
Right,
just,
and
right, we
it's
just
probably
pay the
somebody that
fee.
deals with this sort of
Right,
thing,
plus
this
it's,
scraping.
it's easier to hire something local than to tramp one of these things all over the place where they have to work, so that's how they just do it, yeah.
They're gonna
Right.
hire it, we don't we
We
pay the
don't
fee,
hire it, we just
they-
pay the
they,
fee, right,
okay,
so
they,
it's-
they take care of the
they take
logistics
care
and
of
all
all
that.
of it, we
Okay.
just pay for it.
And I'm fine.
So, yeah, right, so I knew, I understood, it's weird to try to explain it and it wasn't right to explain it in an email anyway. Okay, so any questions any further on the contract?
So basically, they're gonna dig 100 shovel pits,
Yep.
spaced apart, is whatever
Mhm.
this says here. And then they also wanted to do a couple of trenches, that's what they need the backhoe for, to actually
Mhm.
dig some deeper trenches.
Mhm.
But the shovel pits are just, sounds like they're just shovel depth.
Right, it's probably just, however, what's 8 inches, I don't even know.
And then when do they fill everything back?
Well, that's what we're gonna find out.
Yeah, that all has to get filled back up.
Yeah, I mean, like, are they gonna, they're gonna.
Fill your
Sod.
divots and,
Yeah, I mean, I tried to check and see whether they're actually like taking like 2 tablespoons of soil and putting the shovel depth back, or, you know, or if they're actually gonna have to refill everything, but.
yeah.
I think they refill everything. I think there's some-
They do it at night.
Yeah, it's, yeah, they have to,
It
They
it
can't
says
leave
they
holes.
do it at the latter part of the day,
yeah,
they
Okay.
fill them all in.
Okay, alright, good,
Especially since we're gonna have kids over there.
that's right.
yeah.
So, any other questions? So, can I have a motion to accept the contract as written?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Keith.
Second.
Is there a second, Jim? Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, no one opposed. I will sign this contract when you check and we can move on, right? Oh, this one? Okay. And, any other new business we need to deal with?
Was this part of the grant? No, this wasn't part of the grant
No.
money.
No, I don't think
Okay, okay.
And fingers crossed, in a sense.
But it's a capital expense, or capital.
Well,
Yes.
eventually,
building.
Right.
Eventually, yes,
right.
when we get the, money,
Reimbursed.
we will reimburse the library for the fee for this. Okay, so, next meeting is just before our vote, like, what's it, 2-3 days before the vote? So we're going to, include in that meeting the meet the candidates night, cause we don't really have a lot going on that meeting, right? So, is there any objections to doing that? No? So do we wanna do, in the past, we've done meet the candidates at 7 PM and then had our meeting at 7:30, would that work for everybody?
Mhm.
Sure.
Sure, okay, so we'll do that for the next meeting, we'll have meet the candidates from 7 to 7:30, and then we'll start our regular meeting at 7:30. Look how excited everyone is. I can't blame
Yeah,
you.
what's the last date to submit, the petition?
Today?
Today?
Today at 5, the deadline passed.
Yes.
Jim.
Okay, so
We
we
have,
have
officially have 4 candidates.
4 candidates.
Norma, Keith, Bill Troy,
Ben.
sitting in the room here, and
And Don Henning, Herring, I keep calling
who
him
had
Don Henning.
previously tried to become the board member.
Yes, several times.
That's good.
all qualified, petitions were all,
Right, they're all
Verified
vetted and
with
they're
the
all,
paperwork.
real names, real addresses.
yes.
Okay. Okay, any other proposed agenda items for next month?
Do we have the report for the citizens committee or no?
I don't know, will you have it by the next meeting?
Oh,
do you think?
absolutely.
Yeah, okay, so then
I
we'll
mean,
just put
unless-
that on, new building?
Okay,
So we'll
sure.
just put that onto new building?
Unless
That-
there's some
Yep.
problem on the 23rd, which I don't think there will be, but
Okay, alright, great. I didn't know if you needed to meet more often than, Yep.
I think
you think that'll do it?
yeah,
Okay, I mean, if it changes, you know,
we had an incredibly efficient session.
excellent, that's always nice to hear.
Right.
Okay, anything else for next month? Alright then, privilege of the floor?
If I could just follow up, you were talking about the archaeological survey and whatnot, and just as an FYI, what came out of our meeting from Ed Garling was that he already has access to a bunch of records from his prior life.
Mm-hmm.
And after our meeting, he went back and looked into it and was quoting all kinds of stuff. So I'm just pointing out that apparently there's stuff that already exists, and not to say that the archaeological dig would not go on, but if it's of any use,
Yeah,
you know, we should be able to make it available.
okay, thank you.
Hmm.
We looked into, that and there was some question because of how much time has passed since the last time it was done.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why that would make a difference, but I remember that being an issue, right?
Yeah, I'd have to double check. I was
'Cause-
actually, Elaine, we were talking about the same thing about this, but you think,
Yeah, in the contract, it mentions the 2007 survey that they did. And in 2007, they recommended additional work.
Mm-hmm.
So the additional work is gonna be done, and they have to review what was done in 2007.
So they only
To
did-
see if there are any changes.
So they're just going to do
Right.
something
Yeah,
in addition,
you know, people might have done stuff there, but when you were talking about the backhoe, to look for foundations, basically, is what the backhoe is for, because there were 14 structures, it says that in the
Mhm, yeah.
contract. But they're gonna put it all back by nighttime, yeah, so,
yes.
did you have anything else?
No.
Oh, 'cause you were talking about, the trees,
Mm-hmm.
but you're talking about the property on the other side of the fence, right?
Yes.
Which, not the Salesian Cemetery, but just the park that's in the town,
It's,
where the grotto is and,
nope, it's close to Craigville Road. If you drive
Yeah.
by it, it's close to the road.
yeah,
It's a little hillside there.
yeah,
And it's actually, there's a little hillside and then there's quite a deep hole that's now filled with water. And it's on the other side of that is where the Salesian have their cemetery.
right, right.
Yeah, so
Um,
I'm assuming that's Salesian property,
Okay.
not
okay,
the part where the town, where that fence, right?
Okay, all right, I'll have to look at it again, but you do know that is owned by a developer, right? The part that is not the Salesian property, so
Okay,
the part that is not the Salesian Cemetery property is owned by a developer, and it's in the town of Goshen, and there's a huge housing development, proposed in there, many, it was over 100 homes, I can't remember how many acres it is, but, and they're trying to get the developer to, bring it down to 70 homes in there, and, you know, with the 2008 housing bust, you know, all proposed development basically stopped. But now things are starting to heat up again. And I heard that they're coming back to the town of Goshen, board and planning board, but many homes back in there.
How big
Is
is
this
that
the-
property?
Pardon me?
How big is their property?
It's a lot, I wanna say 70 or 80 acres
across
back
from-
in
it's
there,
across
yeah.
from Hamiltonian Park.
Hamiltonian Park.
Yeah,
no,
Arcadia's
this is
owners,
closer,
it's
no,
yours.
this is
That's
closer.
right. yeah.
Is the,
Uh,
where
Yeah,
you're
more
talking
than-
about, is that on the,
Hamiltonian.
if you're driving on Craigville
Yeah.
toward 94,
right,
Mhm.
and on the left.
On the left.
Yeah,
there's that little rise there, then there's the driveway for the cemetery.
right.
There are gonna be homes in that, where the cemetery is?
There's
Between
a
the
little
park and the
buffer
cemetery.
around the cemetery, but all the rest of the acreage in there, it's
After the
huge.
cemetery?
Yeah, or
No, this
or
is-
also to the side of the cemetery that
Toward the
goes toward
village.
Coleman Road.
Nope, this is way before. This is,
Yeah,
Maybe
It's,
it wraps
um,
around.
Swamp there
It's
too.
across from Hamiltonian Park, right?
no,
Yeah.
it's way before.
Is it the port
It's,
across
it's
from the
as soon as
apartments?
as soon as you make the turn, you come from the, you're at the light, you go up Craigville heading toward 94.
Mhm.
There's a little area there, and it's before the driveway to the Salesian Cemetery.
Hmm.
It's a little hillside there, and there's a lot of trees that have been
Are you
taken
saying
down.
that people cleared them or that they fell?
No, they were cut. They were cut by
Oh,
a.
I
There were
think
crews
that's the-
there
I
because
think-
I drive by there every day on my way to work,
Okay.
and one morning there were crews, and they were staging in the cemetery.
Because there's also talk about expanding the cemetery, so it's possible
Oh,
that that's
okay.
part of the cemetery property.
Oh,
would think
okay.
So I'd have to look at
Wow,
it again,
Okay.
but I didn't know if you were aware of the proposed housing development.
Is this the same housing development they tried years ago? And it's
Yeah,
across from
right,
Hamiltonian,
right.
their entrance was, that's what I remember about it, the entrance was right in front.
Yeah.
And they just had the one exit, that was,
yeah.
Is there
So,
issues with
I'm
wetlands?
sure it's all
they
gonna
had
be
issues with
revised
wetland, they
now.
had
Yeah.
issues with their leach
Uh,
field being up the hill from the
yeah.
veteran cemetery, it was lovely.
So, well, that remains to be seen what happens now.
Yes.
This could be
So
then
many
the
years ago.
expanding the cemetery
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
it's
that makes
it's a
sense.
it's a very narrow piece
Okay.
where the
Yeah.
trees have come
So
down.
We
Got it.
veered way off from the library now, so
Yes,
we're
sorry.
going to call an end to it.
The,
We
the
don't need
other,
executive.
one other little
Oh,
thing,
sure.
just, Jim, you were talking about the community garden, the cooperative extension, would help you with that.
I was thinking that
Right,
too.
is that,
Yeah.
are they invited to your meeting, or
We should
they've
reach
helped
out to
set
them.
up a number of the community gardens
It's a great
in
idea.
the county?
You know, they're not invited to that meeting, but I know they're the ones with the expertise. The article that appeared in the Record about 2 weeks ago, or I think was authored by
Yeah.
someone from Cornell.
Thank you. All right, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:39? Norma, second. Bernie, all in favor? Okay, thank you very much. See you everyone on April 11th at 7 p.m.
7 o'clock.